Hello everyone, how are you? This is Galit again. Today I would like to introduce to you a very special and smart lady. I am very honored to know her. Frazai, how are you, dear?
Oh, hello everyone. Hi, Khaled. I'm fine, thank you. I'm honored to be here as well.
I'm very happy that you accept my invitation to share your story,
Yes,
because I know you have a very unique way to express yourself, and people can learn from you and get inspired by your story. So, shall we begin?
yes, please.
Okay. Were you a victim of sexual abuse in your childhood?
Yes, I did.
At what age did it start?
The actual sexual act was when I was 16, but I'd say the grooming started when I was about 13, and I believe the grooming is part of it.
Of course, of course. Who was the attacker?
It was a brother-in-law.
Did the attacker ask you to keep a secret?
Yes, he did. At first, he made it sound like it was something nice. He used to say, "Oh, it's our little secret.
Oh,
If you tell anybody, then it's not a secret anymore, and then it's not exciting." So, and then after that, when I felt uncomfortable and was feeling that this is not right, and I started to draw back from the attention he was giving me, he started to become a little bit aggressive.
oh.
Um, yeah, throwing little threats that if you don't do what I'm asking you to do, someone is gonna get hurt, and you owe me, because he used to give me little gifts, and it's part of the grooming.
I understand. How long did the abuse go on for?
The grooming is what took longer, which was about 4 years. But the actual attack happened the one time. But I must say the effect of it, because it made me realize that the whole 4 years that he had been paying me attention was not really genuine. And that final straw really destroyed me for years.
We're gonna talk about it more in the future. But when it starts, the grooming act, did you know or realize that was something happening was very wrong? Did you felt that there's something very wrong going on?
I didn't realize that it was wrong, but I always had this uncomfortable feeling about it. The thing that confused me about it being right or wrong was there's this culture that we have in Zimbabwe where they call it chiramu, where your sister's husband can kind of fool around with you, like touch your breast or your bum, your bottom, and say little things like "you're my wife," and or sometimes still a kiss on your lips. And they say
So,
it's the culture; it's just playing. So
and
even
you
though I
believe
felt
this is really the culture? You believe that this is
it is a culture, it still happens now, but it's wrong.
it still happen now? This is said. This is said.
It
Tell me
still
something.
happens now.
What does a girl that experience abuse at home feel?
Or there's a lot of feelings and emotions that you feel. Like, for instance, you feel shameful, you feel dirty, uh, you blame yourself as well, so you feel guilty, because in most cases when you talk about what has happened, people and most people will say, what did you do for him to do that? You must have been doing something for him to feel like that. And with me, he actually said this to me. He said to me, it's not my fault, your beauty causes me to do these things.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
actually started to hate how I look. Instead of appreciating my beauty, I hated it. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. So I felt ashamed, fearful, guilty, and I felt like I owed him something. I felt like I owed men something. Um, and then I felt like I let my family down, especially my mom. And all these emotions, they really damage you. But as I grew up, I learned that it wasn't my fault actually.
Of course not. Tell me, how did you manage to escape this vicious circle?
Um, when he actually attacked me, when he was on top of me, I, I'm not sure where I got the strength from, but I managed to kick him with my knee in the groin, and he fell on the side. And I just ran. I ran and ran and ran. And I disappeared for about a day because I didn't know who to go to. I didn't think anyone would believe this thing had happened because this man is an important man in his cycles. Yeah, but then after that, I went through years of fighting a battle of keeping this a secret, and it was really bringing me down. And getting away from that ended up in me leaving my own country. At the moment, I live in
Wow,
the United Kingdom. I had to leave because I was seeing him everywhere, and everybody was talking
wow,
about him like he was a good person. And yet I couldn't
wow,
say what he had done, so I actually had to leave.
wow. Okay. What is PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a mental health problem that develops mostly after traumatic situations. And I would say I suffered it for a long time without a diagnosis because in my country I couldn't open up and say what had happened to me. But I used to have mood swings. 1 minute I'm happy and think I can get over this. And the next minute I see him and he says a little something to me to remind me of that I need to keep the secret. And then I'll go rock bottom again, depressed, afraid, anxious. Um, these are some of the symptoms that you feel when you are suffering from PTSD.
Today, what tips do you give to others who have experienced childhood abuse?
The first thing I would like to say is it is not your fault. If you say no, it means no. And if someone goes ahead and does it anyway, it's not your fault and you should never take the blame. And the tip that I'll give is don't be afraid to speak out about it. Report it, because if you don't, it will ruin your life. It ruined 30 years of my life, and now I speak because I've managed to get over it because I spoke about it and I got the help that I needed. So my tip is report it to someone and get help. In Africa, most likely, if you report it to a relative or a close friend, they might actually ask you to keep quiet about it. And my tip there is if someone asks you to keep quiet about it, don't argue with them. Find somebody else who will be compassionate enough to get you the help you need and
Because
help you address the
probably
situation.
if you share this pain with someone and he told you not to talk about it, it's probably not the right person to talk about it with
Yes,
him
yes, definitely.
because he probably has some interest or is fearless person. And the important thing to share this secret is to allow yourself to heal and
Yes,
to get proportion of the whole situation, that it's
yes.
really not your fault. Otherwise, if you'll keep it a secret, it can eat your soul.
It will eat every angle of your life. It ate my soul. It ruined my relationship with my son. It ruined my relationship with my mom. And people didn't understand why I behaved the way I behaved. And
Mhm.
telling the story is healing, not just for you, but for all the people that then get affected by how you respond to that secret.
Yes, this is very important. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there are people who didn't know why you act the way you act.
Mm.
This is very important what you say.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
Thank
like
you.
people to think of it that way actually. It's not just about
This is
you.
very important.
It's not
This is
just
very
about you.
important.
Everybody gets affected.
Of course, very important. That's why I wanted you to speak
Yeah.
because you are wise.
Thank you.
Now, last question for now. Uh, what is the clearest sign you know of true sexual abuse at home?
My experience from myself, and I'm a mental health nurse as well, and my experience professional is that there's two different types of responses to it. Someone might behavior change and start shying away from everything, being afraid of everything, avoiding contact with people. And that is and you know, when you get close to them, they step back. That is a sign, one of the very distinct signs that something has happened. And then there's another side of a group of people who will respond exactly the opposite. They become sort of inhibited sexually. They will expose themselves. They will talk about sex as if they know a lot about it, and they will, a lot of them will actually become excessively sexually active. Um, so those two are the main responses. It depends what type of a person you are. Either you go the extreme opposite of what has happened to you and be protective of yourself and others, or you become that person who will be like, it's happened to me, it must happen to somebody else, and you just become very out there sexually.
I understand. Well, Faraz, I have so many, so much more question to ask you, but we're gonna leave it for the next call. So I would like to thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And if someone wants to ask you a question, you can ask you directly through Facebook or through me.
Yes,
And we'll see you in the futures with new questions, and we're going to see another perspective of this whole thing.
yes.
So thank you very much, and I wish you all a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.